Okay, so welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for agreeing to come in and see us today. So I want to talk a bit about the format of a support plan, well, an initial support plan. So a support plan is a document that we complete together, and this will last for the duration of the program. So we'll have opportunities in which to add information to this support plan. It's a it's a document to obviously find out more about you, and also find out about instances in which we can help support you throughout the process of the program. So we want to find out as much as possible about you, and we want to help you to achieve the goals that you would like to get towards, obviously, as you progress through the program and through life in general. Okay, we want you to feel as safe as possible to share, and it might be that we ask you some questions that you might not feel comfortable answering right now. That's perfectly fine. Okay, because it might be that throughout the program you feel a bit more comfortable, and then you may want to share more. Okay, so I just want you to just feel as relaxed as possible, and just just feel comfortable sharing what you feel comfortable sharing. Okay, so in terms of the information that we receive from you, there is only a select amount of people that have access to it. Okay, so the program manager, so Diane, will have access to this information. She has an assistant called Sonal who will also have access to the information. She will also form part of your support plan as well, so she will be completing those with you as well. Okay. We have a boss, obviously. Sorry, they have a boss. Her name is Rosie Ginde. She is the safeguarding lead. So if there's any information on there that they are a bit unsure about, they'll be referring to her. Okay, so she will have access to it. We also have a counsellor that delivers wellbeing sessions and also offers one-to-one sessions with you as well. So she will have access to your information as well. Her name is Jess. Okay, so if you get taken on to come onto this next program, she will have access to that, and you will have an opportunity to meet her before the program starts, just to assess your readiness to come onto the program. And if there's any kind of organisation that we could signpost you to if you need extra support before starting the program, then that will potentially come from her. Okay, so in terms of actually seeing the document, those are the only people that will have access to it. Okay, it may be that there may be parts of your support plan that we share with other people, that those people will be like the store manager here. Her name is Helen, and it wouldn't be anything like incriminating or anything like that. It would just be like, oh, okay then, so this person lives at home with their family, and they may have had issues with school or something like that, or authority figures, maybe something like that. But in those kinds of instances, we will always come to you and say, are you happy with us sharing this information with Helen, the store manager, or some higher ups from Mid Counties Co-op, because we have meetings every so often, just to see the progress of the program and what have you. So we might use you as a bit of a story, a bit of a case study. So we'll give them bits and pieces of information. We wouldn't use your name, but we would ask permission. So in those circumstances, we'll always ask permission. We're creating a case study. We won't use your name if you don't want us to, but are you happy for us to share this information? And we'll show you. Okay? So in those instances, that's the time where we'll be sharing your information, but those are the only times, really. Okay? There is a caveat to that. So if you share with us that you have had thoughts of wanting to harm yourself, harm others, or end your life, those are the things that we can't keep to ourselves, okay? Because if you're wanting to harm yourself or harm others, we have a duty of care to protect you and to protect the wider community around us. So obviously we would have to get in contact with other services, and we will tell you that. But yeah, we will be letting external people know of those situations. Okay, so if you ever share anything like that, obviously we want to help and support you, but we can't do that on our own. Okay, so that's why we will invite external organisations in at that point. Okay, happy with that?
Yep.
It's always a bit of a down of that part, but I like to make sure that I say it, just so you know exactly where we're coming from. Okay, and if you're not happy with that, then unfortunately that would be where this would have to end. But you're okay with it, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we can move on. So we can move on. Okay. So like I said, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
I'm going to find that I'm going to be doing a lot of talking today, but that's perfectly fine because we want to get to know you. But myself and Diane want to get to know you. Obviously Diane more so because she will be the person that you will be working with, and I wish you every success in that when you come to it. So like I said, we're going to complete the support plan now. Do you have any questions for us at the moment? No. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to show you the support plan. Okay, so this is the support plan that we'll be completing. Okay, so I know it looks really small at the moment, so you'll see at the top it's got your name and it's asking you for your basic information in there. So we'll start off with that and then we'll progress on to the rest of the form. Okay, so I'll be asking you questions about yourself, about your family, about your health and school and things like that. Okay, so we want to know as much as we can that you feel comfortable sharing about yourself. Okay, so before we start, that's good. Yeah, you seen that before? Yeah. Okay, so can I start off with you typing in your contact details, please? And then underneath that, your date of birth.
Somehow I can manage to forget my own date of birth.
It happens to us all. It's
Definitely,
called old age, unfortunately.
No.
Obviously, I'm not saying that you're there.
It feels like it.
And then emergency contacts. It could be the heat, actually. Well, obviously we've not been in the heat.
Yeah.
You know, it's warm outside.
Is it really nice outside?
It's quite nice out, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She's bragging.
Ish.
Mm.
We're stuck in here working full time.
Hopefully it'll stay nice. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice yesterday,
It was.
wasn't it? I think it was 24 yesterday. Then we had a bit of rain. But today I think it's supposed to be 23 tomorrow, then 22 and stuff. So
Have it a good week. Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. This is
And one
this
in
is basically our summer.
Yeah, our only 1 week of
Mhm.
summer.
Yeah. Okay then. So in terms of your emergency contact person, who is this person to
My
you?
dad.
Okay. And we will be getting in contact with your dad to just confirm that the number works and that they're happy for us to get in contact with them if anything happens, or if we're trying to get in contact with you and we can't get in contact with you, that's when we use that number. Okay, because obviously we want to make sure that you're okay, and then we want to see why you've not turned up or what have you. Hopefully you'll be fine. Okay, so we've got that first section done. Painless. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, great. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the next section, which is all about you and your family. Okay, so in terms of family, there we go. So in terms of family, who makes up your family? So is it just you and your dad, mom, brothers and sisters, nan, granddad?
2 sisters and my dad, pretty much, and stepmom.
And your stepmom?
Yeah.
Okay then. So we've got your dad. It would help if I could spell. That would be nice. That would be lovely. Did you want to get yours? Because then you can come on and you can see what I'm
Perfect.
doing.
Good idea.
Yeah?
Thank
Okay.
you.
We won't go anywhere until you come back.
Okay.
So what is how old is your dad?
60 something.
Okay.
I feel really bad. Me and my dad had this conversation the other day. Because
And you can't remember?
We can't remember when his 60th was, because we
Oh.
had this slip of one of his friends giving him a 60th birthday card on his 59th.
Oh.
But now we can't pinpoint when that was. So we don't know how old he is.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I think he's just lying to me, so he doesn't have to admit it. But
I think we all get to that stage at some point where we don't really want to be admitting how old we are. Yeah. You've got decades and decades to go until that happens. Unfortunately, I've started that.
I've started forgetting.
I've
I
started
really do
forgetting.
forget.
Yeah, I just choose to not remember. That's how I look at it. Choose to not remember. I think it sounds better, because if I forget, then it just makes me feel like I'm getting older.
As far as I see it, as long as I'm a legal adult, it doesn't matter what my age is.
Well,
So
do you know
just get
what?
on with it.
I concur. I'll take you up on that one. So you mentioned your stepmom.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
Jude.
Jude. Jude or June?
Jude.
Have you found it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. Okay, and hazard a guess at Jude's age?
She's older than my dad, so not sure.
Oh, okay then.
And
We'll,
that's
we'll,
the-
we'll keep it vague.
So that's where I've never asked. It's rude. Rude to ask a woman her age.
Okay, and then you mentioned that you have 2 sisters.
Yeah.
Okay, are they older than you or younger?
Yeah, both older than me.
Both older than you. Okay, then, and what are their names?
Danielle and Chloe.
Okay.
Excuse me.
You know how old Danielle is?
I'm 23. Maths. Oh wow. Let me do a bit of quick maths. She's 40.
40.
Yeah.
That's a good age.
She don't look it. It's the scariest part.
Well, that's good when you don't look
Yeah.
the age you are.
She got too much fun in her to be looking
Oh.
40.
Do you know what? I can see that. I can see that. So you, Danielle and your other sister,
Chloe,
Chloe. That's it. Sorry. And how old is Chloe?
I believe she's 36.
Okay. And do you all live in the same house?
No, it's just me, my dad, and my stepmom.
Okay. So, in terms of relationships with all the people that you've mentioned here, you feel you've got a really good relationship with everyone, your sisters, your stepmom, your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So yeah.
Yeah? Do you spend a lot of time together?
Not so much. Like my sisters are both busy. They've both got their own kids, so they're all
Okay.
quite like we talk every now and again. And like both my parents, despite being like at retirement age, still work. So it's kind of one of those. But like if I call them up, they're more than willing to chat anyway. So.
Oh yeah, well that's nice. Do you, as a family, do you like to get together every once in a while and
Yeah.
like have like a Sunday dinner and
Absolutely.
games and?
I'm looking forward to the fact that it's lovely weather, so my dad will get the barbecue out soon, and I'll have
Well,
everyone over.
It's
Oh, no.
it's obligatory really.
Yeah.
You're not a proper family if you don't have like a barbecue or some sort of picnic or
Yeah.
some sort of
Trip.
food stuff during nice weather, because obviously we don't get it that often. So we need to take full advantage of it, don't we? I hear you. You mentioned that your sisters both have children.
Yeah.
Do they have? How many do they have each?
Dan's got 2, Chloe's got 1.
Okay.
Do you ever babysit for them? Okay.
By the time that, because Danielle's are close to my age, so they were
Okay.
never, I wasn't able to, and when Chloe had hers, I'd started off at uni, so I wasn't around.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes sense.
I've managed to avoid it.
Yes.
For now.
For now.
So you mentioned that you live at home with your dad and your stepmom. Do you mind answering? Do you have any contact with your own mom?
No.
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 Okay, that's fine. Does she still live in this country, but you just don't
Yeah.
have any contacts?
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of support system, who would be the person that you would go to if you had a worry or you wanted to talk over something? Who is that person that you would go to?
If it wasn't my close friend, it would probably be Jude.
Okay. So close friends. Anyone in particular? Have you just got like a small group of people?
Two
or you
really
got
close friends who
two
might as well
really
be-
close friends.
might as well be my siblings at this point.
Oh, that's nice.
It's great until they're nicking my food.
Yeah. See, can't be nicking my food.
No,
Can't be nicking my food.
no, absolutely. We're both foodies, so that would not happen.
It doesn't stand with me.
I'm not used to my lap.
Can you not sit back any further?
Yeah, no, I'm. It's okay. I'm here for the entertainment.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that Jude would be the person.
Yeah.
Like, how long has Jude been in your family's life?
Well, I think her and my dad have been together since probably when I was about 10 or 11, I
Okay.
think. I didn't really actually cognitively become aware of her until I was probably about 16.
Okay.
And we only really got close probably when I was 17, 18. So.
Okay.
But she's a very open, easy to talk to person, so it's
Yeah.
difficult not to go to her, to be honest.
Yeah. It's
nice.
yeah. It's good to have good people around you that just make you feel at ease. Because life gets hard at times, and just having someone that you can just go to instantly, just be like, or just vent and things like that. It's really important.
Yeah.
I think, definitely. Okay, so in terms of yourself now, so we want to find out a bit more about you. So, do you have to take any medication or anything like that? Do you have any allergies, anything you're allergic to
No.
that we need to be aware of?
Nothing I've
So-
found out yet.
Oh, okay then. Not wafting like some macaroons and geez, oh, I'm definitely allergic to nuts and things like that. We don't need those kind of lawsuits on our hands. So, okay. And now, obviously, this goes without saying, but obviously, I ask you questions and then I type things down. So, yeah, it might take me a while to get things written down and things like that. I know you've already seen it, but it's the one thing I always forget to say. I'll be asking you questions and then I'll be typing your responses. So just be patient with me. And then some people are like, "What are you doing over there?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry. Yes,
I'll just
Yes.
face it in the meantime. Sorry.
if you want to see anything that I'm writing, just let me know and you can read it, because obviously it's about you. And I obviously want to make sure that I'm capturing things the way in which you said it.
Yeah.
So if you want to see what I'm writing, just let me know. Okay? Right. Any health needs at all?
No.
No? Okay, so in terms of your educational background, what school did you go to? Have you always lived around in this area?
I've always lived in like the Aldridge, Walsall area.
Aha.
So I went to Aldridge School
Did you?
for secondary,
Mhm.
and Leeswood for primary. So
Okay.
very close.
Very close, aren't they?
Well, tell a lie, I was in Wales before that, but I don't even remember.
Okay,
I was-
Wales.
I miss it. It's so much better.
Oh.
Do you go to Wales
I
to?
haven't been back. Well, I went back for my nan's funeral,
Mhm.
but that was it. That's all in recent history. But me and my dad would like to go back at some point.
Mhm. Where in Wales did you? Go?
Aberystwyth.
Aberystwyth.
Yeah.
I've heard it's really nice there. I've not been there myself. I've been to Raider quite a few times. It's like a small little town.
Yeah.
Because I go to a church called LBC. It's based in Birmingham, but they have a branch in Raider. So I go down every so often, spend a few days, and it's so beautiful down there. They've got
The smaller places are so much nicer.
honestly, it's just so, it's literally like a town with like 2 or 3 roads through it.
Oh wow.
Big roads, and when I mean big roads, I mean like our normal B roads. They're so quiet,
Oh wow.
but it's just so pretty, and they've got such beautiful scenery. It's like you go outside and you just take like a big breath of air, and it's fresh, and you can get a bit heady off it, because obviously you come out here and you take a deep breath, and all you can smell is views and
people's cherry vapes.
you know. So it's really lovely to just go into the countryside and just get a big
You're sending
breath of-
Rachel there.
yes, but no, I'm here, but that's fine, because I'm with you, and I'm with you as well, so all the better. But if you do go to Raider, it's really nice. They do lovely Welsh cakes, and we always get onto food as well. Whenever we talk about things, we always get onto food as
It's
well.
the best
so
part of life.
It is.
It's the
it
most
is.
important part of this
Yes.
place.
Well, yes, because obviously it
Exactly.
keeps us alive and what have you, and you know, tastes nice.
It's community, isn't it?
It is community, most definitely is. Okay, so we digress. I'll bring us back. So you mentioned that you went to Aldridge Comprehensive. How did you find that? Did you enjoy your time at Aldridge School?
It was alright, but the average ups and downs, I think. I started off on a rough note with it, but left. Well, it's one of those where like, how do I explain it? I was going through quite a lot of turbulent stuff, so my exams ended up going poorly at the end.
Oh, okay.
But my overall experience of school was quite alright.
Okay.
But like they had like a really good counsellor there as well, so it was like
Oh,
I was
that's great.
supported while I was there, which is
Oh,
good.
that's good.
That is good. And a lot of people don't have a really nice journey at senior school either, so it's actually nice, refreshing to hear that.
I was devastated to find out they did the renovations the year after I left. I was like, God damn it.
It's always the way, isn't it?
But they said because we have like the 2 blocks and there's like no internal bit between them. The year after I leave, they decided to get like a rain shutter up in between them. I'm like, you kidding?
Oh,
Oh,
and
no.
my hair
Days
used to
I've
get
been
wrecked.
soaked.
Yes.
Spent half the year soaked in water thanks to you lot. What was this about?
But could you use it as an excuse sometimes? Sorry, I'm late. I had to go to the loo and dry off. I wouldn't
even bother. I'd come in, I'd stand in the doorway soaked. I'm like, you know where I've been.
Yeah, there's no point.
They know exactly what's happened.
Oh.
Were you there from year 7 through to
Year 11.
Year 11. Okay.
Did you like the school?
It was alright. I don't even remember what I made my decision based off of in primary. I think it was the dinners, and then they, like Jamie Oliver came in and changed all of that, and I was like,
Oh,
Yeah,
Disgusting.
all the turkey twizzlers had gone.
all personality and flavour left for that man.
I think
dear.
you two were the third people, second people, or
Mm.
however that mentioned Jamie Oliver changing school dinners.
I've always held it against him.
Yeah,
Ever
another
since.
person.
Everyone does. Everyone that I speak to, they have some sort of gripe with Jamie Oliver.
Yeah,
Because he was the one that ruined school dinners.
He's English enemy number one.
I love that.
I don't know whether any of you saw the actual TV show about Jamie coming in and changing the school dinners.
It's because they found it too unhealthy or something. And they needed
Yeah,
it
yeah, because
reformed.
it's full of sugars, it's full of salts and processed foods. But you'd have parents coming to the school gates with like McDonald's and things like that and giving it to the kids through the gates because the kids were refusing to have the school dinners. And I was like,
Because they replaced like what was an actually like fun to eat meal with like pasta and sauce. That was like the biggest gripe. Like it's not more nutritious. I'm not going through the day any happier for this. You know what I mean?
I think obviously Jamie was trying to find different ways in which to give all children like nutritious foods, because it could potentially be the only meal that they were getting at home.
I think ideally it was more the schools doing their best to get around it.
Yeah,
the
trying
cheapest
to
way
find
possible.
cheaper ways. Yeah, which is unfortunate. In terms of school, so we spoke about Aldridge a bit. What do you think were your favourite subjects? What did you enjoy the most?
I think art definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think English and maths as well, and history. Which is ironic because history and maths were like my worst subjects in
But
the end.
you enjoy. But you
I was
enjoy.
enjoying the lessons
Mhm.
though.
What? Oh, try not to interrupt. What did you like? What's your favourite time in history? Sorry.
I think like my favourite to learn about was unironically World War II, which is like, I know it's a bit of a stereotypical answer, but I enjoyed learning about the responses people had to everything, and like when we were getting into the nitty gritty of it, I like not enjoyed, but I was fascinated more than anything, and like learning such a pivotal point in our history and how it's like actually had an effect on our modern day now. That was like really, really fascinating to learn about. I also like learning about the turn in medicine as well. When we learnt like penicillin and stuff like that, I was like, that's fascinating. Like it was just one person who was like, what if we just got that out of a cow? It's fine. Like okay.
Good. I'd have to say World War II as well.
I liked both World Wars. You just found out lots of information about, different people and why they did the things that they did and things like that. So yeah, it was all quite interesting. And when you have a teacher that conveys it in such a way that makes you want to know more and learn more, then I think that's even better, really, isn't it? Okay, so after Aldridge, finished in Year 11, got your GCSEs, we're like, yes. What did you do next?
Sat there confused for a bit and then went to Walsall College. Because I didn't get the grades that I'd wanted originally. Because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'd never really been sat down for that conversation at any point. And I realised that I did really enjoy doing art, and I wanted to take that further, so I did art and design at Walsall College.
Okay.
I did level 3 in that, and then I did a foundation afterwards.
Foundation degree?
Yeah.
Okay. Level 3 in art and design. What did you enjoy about that course?
I think it was just learning everything that I'd like, because I was self-taught primarily at that point, and GCSE art was very like box standard. We want you to conform a little bit more to the thing, whereas at college it was way more we want to see what
You can
comes out of you specifically. But I think my favourite was we got given a project about death, but we couldn't use the stereotypical like representation of death. And I really enjoyed like the first 2 months of that and being like, what do I do with this? And eventually I went on to memories because that's what we have left after death. And it's like the most prominent thing that goes with us as well. And that was really fun to look through.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. And what were you hoping to do with that afterwards?
Like the course or the project?
Well, the course.
I ended up taking it to uni with me, because my aspiration would be to be a concept artist for games, and like make characters and stuff like that. But getting my foot in that door is a completely different ballpark.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm working at it just slowly.
But you're still in that mind's eye of wanting to do that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. So what are the things that you've done personally yourself to keep your hand in and move you closer to that goal?
Primarily just like keeping up on my portfolio, trying new stuff. The worst one is like trying to practice like certain styles, because some studios they want like what conforms to their styles, which has been difficult. I've not really gotten around to applying places yet. I did like later last year I was applying to like apprenticeships and internships with some companies, but they didn't go through. But since then it's just been practice. So
Definitely.
I'll get there one day.
And that's the attitude to have. So no, definitely. Being creative, do you want to be creative on computers or literally?
Computers more so. I enjoy it more.
Yeah.
As much as I really like how expressive like traditional is, I don't think it's entirely for me. Just because I get to a point where I'm like, I can't stand the mess.
So, yeah.
Like charcoal gets all over me. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Let's get it on a computer.
Yeah.
And which university was it that you went to?
De Montfort in Leicester.
So then after uni, you got your undergrad. What did you then start doing?
I started mass applying for work.
Mass applying for work. Okay then.
But it was one of those where like I got back home and I was just kind of like, right, I need to get back on my feet, because me and my two friends, we would really like to live together again, because we lived together in our third year and we like avidly enjoyed it. And so far I'm the only one that's not actually been able to hold a job, so I've just been trying my best, but I've not had that much luck.
Okay. So in terms of the last course that you did, would you say that would have been your university course, or would you say you've done other things?
I've had an internship since then for September to December, but I don't really call that a course, that was more.
Yeah. So you completed an internship?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
It was here and there. I don't think it was very well managed. I felt like I spent a lot of my time twiddling my thumbs and not really having something to do.
Okay.
And it felt like some of what I was doing was a bit redundant and kind of got ignored, which I understand when you're working, you do get some of your stuff like overlooked or kind of ignored, or you're told to do it again. But it felt like a disparaging amount of it was kind of like, yeah, we don't need that now, and just be like, okay.
Okay. So where was it you were doing this internship?
Urban Hacks in the Sadler Centre.
Oh right. Yes.
Because they were doing it under Learn Play.
Yeah.
Urban Hacks, what's that?
They're a creative company really, and they currently are running, God, how do I describe it again? Like spaces for artists to use, kind of
That's
thing.
good, yeah.
It wasn't doing the best while I was there. I don't know if it's picked up since, but they're hoping to move up to the Guildhall and turn that into a little thing for artists, which I hope they do that well, because it'd be nice to have that community in Warsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long was that internship for?
It was about 3 months.
Okay. Have you ever been in work apart from the internship?
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. You didn't work it while you were at uni or
I
anything
think
like
I
that?
would get a job at uni as well. That felt like smacking my head against a wall.
Oh gosh.
I didn't find out until afterwards that like listing that you were so actively at uni was like a massive thing, like against you, and that like realistically I should have been applying without that. I didn't know that at the time. so
Yeah.
and since then it's been pretty much the same. Where like I haven't really been lucky.
Yeah. So what kind of work were you looking for while you were at uni, and what's the type of work you're looking for at the moment?
It's basically remained the same in terms of retail predominantly, but more so now like admin or any sort of office work as well. Quite literally anything, barista, like waitressing, stuff like
So
that.
you're keeping your options open.
Yeah.
Obviously this program, we deliver a BTEC level 1 in work skills. We're based in a Mid-Counties cooperative store because we have the opportunity to give you work placement hours here in this actual store as well. So you'll get opportunity to learn how to work in an environment like this. So should you be successful in finding work in retail, then at least you've had that experience to say, okay, then well, I've had this opportunity and I've had 12 weeks learning, you know, everything on the shop floor, from delivery to working in the bakery, doing coffee shop, working on the shop floor, shadowing on tills. So, you know, these are things that will hold you in good stead for when you do, you know, move into finding work and things like that. You know, we're hoping that that bridges the gap for you and it helps you on your journey to becoming, you know, a permanently employed person. Okay. When you were at school, I did forget to ask you, sorry. So did you need any additional support in any of your classes? Did you have a teaching assistant sitting with you, or just one for the room, or anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
So, if that's okay. You warm enough? Yes, sorry. I must do that. I forget about everyone else. I just remember myself. That one's off. You alright, Rachel?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have got a bit of information about you, which is great. So we're now going to move to the next section, and it's called aspirations. Okay, so we want to know a bit more about you, and we want to know where you want to get to. So we've had a bit of a conversation in terms of what ideally you would like to move into. But we want to put a bit more meat on the bones in terms of that. So just be really nosy. So if you so obviously you've heard about the Fair Futures program. We are a program that run a BTEC level 1 in work skills, as well as level 2 in food safety, over a 10 to 12 week period. Okay. And we work with people who have struggled to find work, have struggled to move into that field, and we want to help support you by bridging the gap to you learning about work and what it actually entails to actually move into work. Okay, so we want to build up your confidence, we want to give you that motivation and help you communicate effectively with others, working as part of a team, you know, solving problems and just having, you know, a greater sense of self. Okay, so in terms of building all of that within yourself, what do you feel you want to get out of being part of the Fairer Futures program for yourself?
I think genuinely it's the skills to like get a job and be able to be financially independent. I've always found myself dependent on someone else or something else, like in terms of like government help and all that, and it is draining and I absolutely hate it. And like more than anything, I want to be able to like hold myself up, and like any type of like education or qualification that can help me out with that, just grab it with both hands. So
that's great, thank you. And I totally hear where you're coming from, because it can feel really draining trying to give your all to an organisation or government when you are feeling like, I don't feel like I'm being seen, I don't feel like I'm being heard, and it can feel very frustrating for one. It can feel very overwhelming, you know, in terms of them asking you, okay then, well, you're not looking for enough jobs, you need to look for more and things like that, and you're trying your best. So I totally understand you feeling that way, especially from, you know, delivering this program now 9 times. This is a similar conversation that we have with people when they come to this part. So don't think that you're the only one that's feeling this. There are a lot of people that are feeling the same way, and they feel like they've not got anywhere to turn to. So we're here and we want to help support you in the best possible way
to achieve what you can achieve, and you know, even surprise yourself in terms of what you can actually do, because you can do a lot more than you think, you know. So we want to support you in the best possible way. Okay, so in terms of 6 months time, so I want you to picture, you know, we're in now? We're in May.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're in May.
I'm ready for my picture.
So we're in May. So say you start the program in July, okay? You'll finish it by September or the end of August, let's say. So 6 months after, 6 months from now, you would have been out of the program 3 months. So let's say, what day is it? November. There we go. That was hard work. So November, I'm walking through Walsall Town Centre, and I'm like, is that you? And you're like, oh hi Rachel, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm alright. What's up with you? And you're like, well, let me tell you what's been happening with me. Think of it as your aspiration. These are your aspirations. This isn't something that you have to do. This is would like to have. So I've saw you in the middle of Walsall Town Centre, and I'm asking, what are you up to? How have you been getting on? What is the story that you want to be telling me that's been happening with you?
I'd love to be able to say that I've landed a job and been able to save up, been able to like get on my feet and not feel like such a burden. And with it being November, I'd probably like to be able to say I've been getting presents for my friends and stuff like that.
That's cute.
I'd probably also like to be able to say I've started on like repaying my student loan and that kind of stuff, and like I'm starting to get on my feet properly for the first time and feeling more confident, that kind of stuff.
Brilliant. No, that's great. So I want you to feel all those things, and I want you to be able to get there, and this program can help you get there. Okay, so whatever it looks like, you know, first and foremost, we want you to feel good about yourself. And you feel good about yourself, everything else just comes into focus, doesn't it? So I want you to feel good about yourself first and foremost, and then I want you to feel good about all the things that are happening around you in your life. So, you know, you're finding work, finding, you know, financial stability, and feeling that you're not a burden. And I'm sure your family have never said that you are one, but
they love saying like, oh, we can support you, and like you're not a burden. And I'm just like, you don't understand.
yeah, but I totally get what you mean, because yes, they won't say that, but you feel that you might feel like you're not contributing in a way, but you know, it's not all about the money. Sometimes it's just about, okay, then, well, they're at work, how can I help support the family? You know, and even if it's just, you know, washing dishes, and you know, making sure that you put a load of washing in, and making sure that the house is tidy for when they come back in and things like that, you are supporting the family. You know, so if you're ever feeling a bit down in the dumps, like, oh, I'm really struggling to find work and I still can't find work, you can do those things that you think might not really matter, but they do really matter. Okay, so don't think of yourself as a burden ever.
I do contribute to the house, but it's one of those where like I'm aware we have like bills and stuff like that, and like while I was with the internship, I was able to contribute with that, and then that going away again, I'm like,
yeah,
like it would be easier, and I know it'd be like a nicer thing for everyone all around to be able to say like, oh, I don't have to worry as much about that. Like that's always my thing. Like, I'm like,
And I totally understand. I totally understand, but don't put so much pressure on yourself. And I know it's easy me saying this because I'm on the outside looking in, but seriously, don't put that pressure on yourself, because you're doing the best that you can at this precise moment in time. Your time will come when you'll be in work and you'll be making money and you'll be like, oh, I remember the days where I wasn't in work, but now I can contribute, I can do these other things. But that's not the be all end all. Your mental clarity and your mental state is more important than the money that you bring to the table. When you're living at home and you've not got not the hassle, but your family have said, you know, you don't have to worry about this, that and the other, you know, just do what you can. You know, doing what you can could be, okay, making sure that, you know, that there's a meal ready when they get home, or just make sure that the place stays tidy and things like that. Those are worthwhile things that you can contribute to the successful running of your household as well. So don't put too much pressure on yourself, okay? Alright. Okay. So we spoke about 6 months. So this time next year, so May 2026. May 2026. Oh gosh. Okay. I've got over it. A bit in my head. Okay. So I see you walking through Aldridge. I'm like, we keep bumping into each other, and you're like, I know. It's weird. I was like, how are you? How you been getting on? And you're like, well, let me tell you a story. So thinking again back how we were talking about your 6 months. So you've done all of those things, okay? So you've got yourself a job, you're financially secure, being able to buy presents for your friends and your family for Christmas and the birthdays, and it's all gravy and what have you. You're starting to pay back your student loan. I was going to say student debt, but I said down, yeah. So you started to contribute, paying back your student loans and things like that. So where would you like to be in terms of 12 months time, this time next year? Where do you see yourself? Okay.
I think primarily looking at like starting to save up to move in with my friends, like properly, like having something set aside for when we're all making that decision, and I'll probably be really excited about it. I mean, like, all three of us now are looking at houses, and like we'd really love to actually like sit down and be able to be like, okay, we like this one, let's go have a viewing. And I'd probably like to be able to say that we've done viewings and stuff like that. Maybe it would be a bit fast, but like I'd love to be able to say that that's what we're starting to do.
No, that's great. You know, you've got a plan in your head in terms of what you would like to do. So you coming in and saying, well, yes, we're actually putting things into play here. We're making sure that we've got the funds and we're saving up and we can do this and we can do that and what have you. I was reading something somewhere the other day. Nationwide are doing this scheme where if you've got a job, I think you're earning something like 35k, and you've got about 10 grand saved up or 11 grand saved up, that they will allow you to borrow 6 times more than your salary to get you onto the property ladder as a first time buyer. So that could be something that'd be quite interesting.
Definitely. And there are quite a few schemes out
there are
for young people.
Yeah, and first time buyers, and like first time buyers, the ages of first time buyers now, they're increasing, because obviously how mortgages were looking beforehand, it was really hard to get a mortgage. You had to literally have like 50k in the bank.
You did.
Who's saving up 50k
You
in
can't
in these days? Who is going to be saving up 50k to put down on their
It
first
is
house?
hard. It is hard.
So it's really welcome move that these banks and building societies are trying to make it more affordable for everyday people to be able to get onto the property ladder. So do be looking out for schemes as well when you do get into work and you start saving your money and wanting to do those kinds of things, because it will be really helpful for you. Okay. You do get sidetracked all the time.
Oh, that's why I'm being quiet, and it's not that good for me being quiet.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, last one. So, if we think 5 years from now,
Wow.
yeah. So we're in May 2030. 20. Gosh, that's really that's scary. That is May 2030. So I see you and I'm like, is that you? And you're like, yeah, it's me. It's me. It's me. And you're like, I've not seen you since 4 years ago. I'm like, yeah, I know. What are you up to? You're looking really well. How's everything going? And you're like, okay then, well let me just tell you, this is what's happened so far. So obviously, you've been saving up with your friends to get yourself on the property ladder and things like that. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Okay.
I'd love to say that I'm only in Walsall because I'm visiting. Hopefully somewhere like Leicester or Manchester at that point. And I'd really love to be able to say that I've started applying more for creative industry stuff rather than staying in general retail and customer service type stuff. And looking to get into my dream career at that point, if not already in the doorway at that point. And just living my best life.
Love that.
Probably going out at least every other weekend is what I'd love to be able to say. And confidently contributing.
Do you know what? Yeah. Why not? These are aspirations. These don't have to necessarily be, I have to conform, it has to be this way. This can be as wild as your imagination takes you. So if that's where you want to be, there's no one in this room is saying that you can't achieve and attain those goals. No one at all. Okay, but it's really nice to hear that you've got a plan, and starting to figure things out for yourself. Where you want to be and what you want to be doing. I think it's great. So fantastic. Right, so we're now on a part of the support plan called Teachable Moment Scale. Okay, so what I would like you to do, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and I want you to give me a scoring between 1 to 5, where 1 is not really, and 5 is yes, definitely. Okay, so I'm going to ask you 3 questions. So, can you tell me how ready are you to make a change? Do you feel you're ready to make a change?
I'd say about 4.
A 4.
Yeah.
Okay, why a 4?
Because I feel like I am ready, just a bit anxious. Just because changes are big, but they're necessary.
They are big, and you're right, they are necessary. But how do you feel you could help yourself in that situation?
I think it'd be probably a conversation with Jude to do me well. I'd just be like, you know what, I'm scared. And she'd be like, well, what of? And I'd be like, what of this? And she'd be like, well, don't be. It'd be like, it's simple as that, just jump into it, and the worst case is you end up back at the start and be like, okay.
Yeah, if you don't try, you never know.
Yeah.
And also, life is a journey, not a destination. So while you're on the journey, you learn a lot about yourself.
Mm.
You know what you're capable of, and what things you need to work on to improve. You know, we're all a work in progress. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. How self-aware do you feel you are?
I'd like to say 5, just because I'm always like thinking about my actions and like I pay a little bit too much attention to myself, I think.
Oh, okay then.
I'm very. I don't know what the word is for it. I don't know if there is a word for it. I think it's part of being anxious and like
Mhm.
how I grew up. It's just,
You're in tune with your feelings and you know how you feel.
yeah. I think I
Checking on yourself.
Over analyze or overly critical or
I think I'm partially overcritical, but I like over explain myself as well.
okay.
Rationalize myself,
Yes.
kind of thing. So like, at the end of the day, I've probably done something. I'm like, oh, why did I do that when I could have done this or this? Well, I was quite anxious at the time, or I was nervous. Well, I didn't need to be. I'm more retrospective than anything, I suppose.
Okay.
But
Okay. I think in these kind of situations, sometimes you are a bit too retrospective. But then when you are of the mind of, okay, then I'm just going to do it and see, then that kind of curbs that retrospective space, because you're just going in and doing it, and then you're reflecting back. You know, so sometimes maybe a bit more spontaneity in your life, doing things. Okay, I wanna try that. I'm just gonna try it. Okay, then I'm gonna go and do this. And you're like, oh, actually, it was really good. I enjoyed it, and it made me feel ready to move on to the next stage now. Okay. I'm not saying that with everything, but you know, it could work for you. And last question: how open are you to becoming more self-aware?
Probably a 5 again.
Probably a 5. Okay. Great. Right. So, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. Just tell me yes or no. So, have you ever had a diagnosis at all for ADHD, or
I've been meaning to go get myself checked for ADHD.
do you feel you are?
I've had this conversation with a friend of mine, a really close friend, because I have 2 friends. One of my closest friends has autism, and another really close friend has autism and ADHD. And we were talking quite a few times about the fact that I share a lot of traits with them, in the sense of like ones that I already had before I met them.
Okay.
And they were talking about the fact that ever since they got their own diagnosis, they've noticed that it is one of those things where they reckon that it's, at the very least, it'd be good to know, kind of thing,
Okay.
if I do or don't.
Have you spoken to your GP about this?
No, not yet.
Are you going to speak to your GP about this?
It's on my list.
It's on your
It's on
list.
your list to do.
Okay, then is it kind of like at the top of the list, or middle, or bottom?
I'm a little bit avoidant of doctors.